This guy with a Polaroid.
It's still looking awesome.
Yeah, right. Today's guest, Mr. Mike Koysoy, coming to you from, where are you originally? Florida, you said?
Boca Raton, Florida, yeah.
Boca Raton, Florida. So how'd you end up at NC State?
I ended up at NC State. I wrestled in high school, and then I played football, wrestled, ended up getting fortunate enough to get a D1 offer from North Carolina State, wrestled there.
What weight class were you wrestling?
Heavyweight.
For those that don't know you, I'm assuming a lot of my listeners aren't big wrestling fans, so
Well, let's
here we
make
go.
them fans.
Yeah,
I wrestled heavyweight.
So you wrestled, WWE? No, I'm just joking. A lot of people, that's what they're thinking. I had a pro wrestler on before, too.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
But, so what was the weight class?
Heavyweight, so 285 pounds.
285?
It's up to 285, yeah.
Okay, so what did you weigh in at during?
When I was in college, I weighed about anywhere from 250 to 260.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like my healthy range.
So
right there.
why is it that there's certain weight classes, but heavyweight? I mean, there's super heavies too, correct?
So there used to be. It used to be unlimited. So back when Tab Thacker, just you wouldn't know, but he wrestled. It was unlimited.
I'm actually kind of versed with wrestling.
Okay.
So this is, for me, we might be spitting out stuff, but we'll have to revert kind of and let people know what's what.
Yeah,
so,
no problem. Tab Thacker wrestled at NC State, multiple-time national champion, I believe. But he actually acted in some movies as well.
Yeah.
Police Academy, all that good stuff. He's the big fat guy. But back when he wrestled, it was unlimited, and they realized that was pretty much a disadvantage because if you weighed 420 pounds, like 9 times out of 10, you couldn't move that person.
Yeah.
That person would win. So
technique only takes you so far.
Yeah, exactly. At some point. So now they've widened it. It's so in college it's 197, and then it goes up to 285. So if you weigh 198 or 197.2,
you're screwed.
You're heavyweight. You know what I mean? That's it. Which is good and it's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
there's
would
advantages.
Right. Exactly. I'd like there to be like a 230 weight class, but we'll get there. Right?
No, that makes perfect sense. To be honest, I would even say a 220.
220 would make sense. It makes more of a difference at the lighter weights, right? Me being 125 versus 135, 140. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
As far as like me being 220 and then him being 240, 250, not a big difference.
Okay.
It's a big difference when you're wrestling somebody. Usually the 285 pounders are not super agile, excuse me, and not super speedy. I mean, you do have those freaks, right? Like they exist.
But
sure. You know what I mean? Monsters exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
my buddy Garcia is a monster, and he exists.
Yeah.
He's 340. He moves like 185.
Exactly. Watch NFL Sunday. They exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Exactly. So then, but typically not. So I like to stay. I feel my best at. I feel most agile. My gas tank's good, and I'm strongest at about 260, which is what I weigh right now.
Jeez. Yeah, I was going to say there's not too many people that come on the show that stifle me in size. So
yeah, Roman told me you were big, man.
No, I'm about 240 right now.
You're a big guy.
Nah, it's just all fucking show weight, dude. It's curls. No, so I want to talk about. We'll get back to your actual wrestling career. I want to talk more about life after wrestling.
Absolutely.
And the reason why this is big to me, and I was excited to bring you on for this reason, was because a lot of people don't realize like how much dedication it takes to be a Division fucking 1 athlete, not just in wrestling, but a Division 1 athlete. Now you look at the wrestling aspect of it, and then you look at what happens after wrestling for a lot of those guys.
A lot of guys have trouble with that. A lot of guys have trouble. I was fortunate. I have a good head on my shoulders. I think I was fortunate. Excuse me.
You're good. You're good.
I was fortunate that I ended up obtaining my master's degree while I was in college in physiology.
Oh, okay.
So worst comes to worst, I could use that. But I'm also having trouble. I mean, I've competed my whole life in sports since a kid. So I don't really know what it is to stop competing. You know what I mean? Unless you're in sales, I don't think you really compete at a job. A 9-to-5 desk job. You really don't. And I can't fathom having a desk job. I haven't figured it out yet. So a lot of guys usually continue wrestling, or whether they're doing any combat sport, MMA or whatever they're doing, they do it too long.
Right.
And that's when that other stuff happens. That CTE.
CTE, yeah.
That's a motherfucker.
Joint issues, knee issues, shoulders, neck.
Already happening. You know what I mean? Already happening at the ripe age of 25. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thankfully, there's technology, PRP, stem cells that's coming up.
Yeah, I'm hoping they really get that shit squared away.
Yeah,
Stem
man.
cells seem like the future.
Stem
You got
cells
kids
for
that are
sure
dealing
the
with like
future.
muscle dystrophy that are about every 6 months able to walk because of stem cells.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's bananas. Well, so what are some of the struggles you've seen with wrestlers that haven't been able to cope?
Just the structure aspect, right? So when you're a D1 athlete, you have structure, you have a schedule. You wake up in the morning, you have your morning workout, 6 a.m., so you wake up at 5, you eat, then you got your 6 a.m. workout, then you go to class, then you have study hall. If you're cutting weight, fuck, man, your life sucks. Like, you're cutting weight, so you have to watch where you eat. Maybe you're bringing your meals. Maybe, I don't know, I didn't really have to cut weight, but
Yeah.
I watch my teammates do this shit, and I'm like, man, they got to go to class and cut weight and think about food, and that sucks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So then you have your afternoon workout, and then you go back to study hall. You just got, and your classes are all in between, scattered. Maybe you got class after study hall, and then you go to bed, go to bed.
I'm not going to ask you to name names. Have you seen people deal with depression issues?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Just with the overall rhetoric of everyday life, or is it because they don't know what they're doing after wrestling?
So, especially in D1 athletics and college in general, right? I think the two biggest scams in America, right, is
College.
college, right?
Number one.
College, and then healthcare.
Healthcare. God,
Second.
I like this guy already.
So, I mean, I just experienced it. I don't have health insurance. I needed a minor knee scope. It's crazy.
Yeah, you might as well go to Canada
Absolutely.
and become a citizen, or take your ass to Mexico.
How about this?
Yeah.
I mean, short story. I needed a knee scope. I was going to pay cash. And then USA Wrestling has like an 80-20 deal with the insurance that
Okay.
I use them. And then by the time they bill like the other insurance through USA Wrestling, they when they went to charge me, it was actually like a couple $100s more. They charged, so they were going to charge me essentially like $2,700 cash without insurance. And then with insurance, they charge the hospital 16 grand. So it's like, where does that money come in? How does that make sense?
That makes zero sense. It's because it's insurance and they can get away with it.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
So
Jesus.
anyway, that's off topic, but those
No,
are the
it's
two
not.
biggest
It's all on topic
Yeah.
because that's the wrestler life. You're gonna deal with injuries. You're gonna deal with that stuff. And life after wrestling to me is scary because
Huge. Very scary.
there's no. You get wrestlers that if they don't convert to MMA, then what? What are you doing for a job now, personally?
So I'm a RTC athlete. I still compete. I'm trying to make the 2020 Olympic team.
Okay.
Currently, after 2020, I really have no idea. I mean, I'd love to do MMA, but also like what we talked about, CT is scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It happens, man. It's a fist fight. Whether how confident I am or not in a fight,
Yeah.
which I am, but it's a fight. You saw, like, I would have bet the house on Daniel Cormier last fight,
Really.
but he got caught. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
You know what I mean? I know.
Yeah.
You know, wrestlers typically do well.
Yeah.
They'll take a lot of damage, but sometimes they do. And then what? Check out Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Skilled.
Yeah.
Hasn't been touched in a lot of fights,
Leans to the right, gets caught with a knee.
and eats a knee.
Yeah.
Not eats it.
Yeah.
Stiff.
I wouldn't even say he ate it. He was blown through.
Yeah, exactly.
He went soulless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in the shadow realm still.
Yeah.
But-
I always say talking to dead relatives.
So I mean,
So-
but it's a fucking fight, and anything
Yeah.
can happen. So, and that's
Has
where
MMA been something
Yes.
you thought about?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But my mom and dad would hate me because I have a degree, and you do something like
Well,
that.
but the degree can come second always. I mean, if you
Absolutely.
can make a quick 6 figures, and I'm not saying it's easy.
No, by no means. But I know what you're saying.
Exactly, but it's something that could put you on the map and feed you for a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And it's something I don't know when I'll be done competing. Again, like the competition factor is you're never gonna get that rush again. How are you gonna get that rush if you're not competing?
I don't even think it's the rush, and I'm glad you said that. I think for wrestlers, it's it's not the rush. It's knowing yourself. You go in one-on-one, head-to-head against another man. That victory and that thrill isn't a rush. It's knowing that you can compete at the highest level.
Right.
And that to me is like, oh, dude, it's all astounding. It is amazing. It's a beautiful art form that people don't understand and take for granted here in America.
Absolutely.
You go to other countries, wrestling is,
King.
yeah. Look, you take Russia, for instance.
Those guys are set up for life. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
That's really the difference.
So what would you say? How do we promote wrestling here in America better?
That's a
Okay, we're not in the Midwest.
right. It's a tough sell, right? Because a lot of people don't watch it. Some people think, man, if I had $1 for every time that I was like, oh, I wrestle for a living, they're like, oh yeah, what promotion? WWE? Like,
Yeah,
I never even
WCW,
watched. I never
yeah.
even watched the shit.
Oh, you've never watched it?
I grew up in an Eastern European household. My dad and mom had no idea what that was.
Eastern European, huh?
Yeah, my family's from Odessa, Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
So they had no idea what that was. When I used to play football, my dad had no idea what the score was, no idea. After the game, he would say, how'd you do? He would watch it. He had no idea how it was going.
So do you speak any Ukrainian?
Yeah, I speak Russian. Yeah, yeah.
Russian? Okay.
So they left when it was a former Soviet Union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, though, dude. At least you got that. Do you travel at all?
Yeah, I travel a lot.
Wait, I don't even know why I asked that. I saw some of your pictures. You were in Minsk, Belarus recently, or?
That was about this time last year,
Okay.
training for big tournaments. I'll be in Russia in October again, training and then competing in Dagestan.
So you're going to train with those guys and then probably face them in the Olympics if you make the team.
Right.
How does that work? Like,
So
It's like- that's like the enemy.
Wrestling's a weird sport, right?
Yeah.
So wrestling's also the only sport where I feel like you need a partner. Like you need somebody around your weight class to help you grow, right? Push you, right? So I had a coach in high school that told me this, and it stuck with me forever. That in wrestling, you need a guy who you can kick the shit out of. You need 3 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
A guy you can kick the shit out of, right? A guy you could try stuff on, your new moves, be proficient at them, etc. A guy you're neck and neck with, the second guy, right? A guy who, hey, if you're not up to par,
not on your A game.
you're not on your A game, he's
yeah.
going to get you, right? A guy that you could try shit on, but you also got to be careful, also got to know, when you got to go back to the stuff you know, right? And the third guy, the guy who just beats the shit out of you. Now, as you jump levels, right, that third guy's harder and harder to find. But there's ways around that, right? Maybe I go for a run before practice, before I do this wrestling match. Maybe my coach puts me through a circuit, and then I got to wrestle this guy.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe we do something which is called we call it. It's got multiple names. It's called shark or whatever. But a fresh guy rotates in on you every
Like
2
piranha
minutes.
drills.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's called every
So,
area's got a different name for that drill. It's kind of crazy, but yeah.
Well, so with that being said, like your overall record in college was like what, like 19? One year it was like 19 and something. I forget what it was.
I have no idea.
You don't. How do you keep yourself? Because there's some straight fucking heavyweight killers coming up right now.
Absolutely.
They got that kid from Colorado, and I think he actually signed a letter of intent with Arizona State.
So Colton Schultz, yeah, I know.
Yes.
I've been training with him. Yeah.
So you got some straight killers at heavyweight coming up. How do you keep yourself proficient at you're 25? You said, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got these ripe fucking kids coming up who are just cock strong, testosterone to the fucking max, ready to go. How are you keeping yourself proficient?
You just gotta, at some point or another. I mean, right now I still feel like I'm in my prime. I'm still,
Well, there's old man strength.
Right. Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Like
I call it dad strength.
But you ain't there yet.
I'm not
me.
there.
Yeah,
you got that. You got that.
I'm 35. I'm close.
You got it.
Yeah.
I don't have that yet, but I feel like I'm still a young guy. I'm still young in this particular game, senior level game. Everybody on the senior level is mostly older than me. I think Dayton Fix is obviously still in college. He's the 57 kilogram guy.
Yeah.
But everybody else is older. They're like 27. So for me, I'm still a young cat in the game. As far as the young cats coming up, the younger cats, you just gotta stay. Don't take anybody lightly.
Yeah.
You get mopped up.
No, that's the truth.
That's the way it is. You can't take anybody lightly. Even just like when I was a younger guy and I was wrestling an older vet. I mean, I dare you to take me lightly. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I hope that you decide that you want to be lazy this match. I really do.
So, man, that's
You just gotta keep on your P's and Q's.
And what's weird is there's certain people when I love watching like old school flow, like the flow wrestling, because then you get to see matches that you weren't able to see before, and that to me is important because, for instance, you might have a guy's number, but the guy that he wrestles the week later might have your number. And the three of you could beat each other, but one can't beat. It's
happens
always
a lot.
Yeah, and that's always interests me there's a blueprint, but yet some people can't figure out each other's blueprints.
Yeah, I don't know. Flow Wrestling has changed the game, though. I mean,
really has.
shout out Flow Wrestling. I got a lot of buddies that work there, and I mean, they've changed. You used to have to freaking record on a camcorder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe your coach had to record that person's match secretly. Your next opponent's match secretly, so you can get a peek at them before you wrestle them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And now you're scouted.
And now before I wrestle, I'm sure people watch videos on me. And before I wrestle, I get videos from people. There's websites now. You get people who wrestle in Dagestan.
Yeah.
I know how the Turk wrestles. I know how the Georgian wrestles. Now it's about executing during the match. That's different. That's
But at least you have an understanding.
But you got an idea.
Yeah.
It's not like the first time I see him, I'm going to be shocked. I know kind of what's coming, an idea of it. But that's Flow Wrestling. That's Track Wrestling. That's the UWW website, which is now every match is recorded. Before it was just kind of like, oh, I heard he beat so and so. Or he beat him. I don't know how he beat him. You know what I mean? I don't know what he did.
Yeah. Huh.
You just saw results.
Dude, that's
Changed the game completely.
That just is, like I said, it's interesting to me because for the casual fans that understand wrestling, they know what we're saying right now. For those that don't understand and are listening, it's like scouting an NFL team. You might not know their plays. You know what I'm saying? But after watching videos, you're like, oh shit, we got to make sure we make that read so the halfback doesn't come out on wheel route, catch the ball.
Right, exactly.
It's all strategy.
It's even more than that, honestly, though, because Flow Wrestling has changed the way recruiting happens.
Okay.
Before recruiting, let's say I'm so-and-so coach from so-and-so university, I had to go, I heard about this kid, or through the grapevine, somebody told me about this kid, and now I got to go see him. Now, I see your ranking, the rankings come out, Flow makes them, okay? They're not always spot on, but they're close. Generally, they're close. The who's who, obviously people fall out of there or whatever. But also, if I don't believe you or if I hear about you, type in your name. All your matches are going to come up. Fargo, which is a big national tournament, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
Any type, Ironman, all those big high school tournaments, or maybe just your local state tournament. Local state tournaments are on there now. So I'm going to see how you wrestle without even going to recruit you, without even seeing you. Then I'll give you a call and put you on a visit.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely an interesting take. It's kind of like the hootie or huddle or whatever it's called.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
we use that too.
Well, but wrestling though is different because it's one-on-one. You get to see all the pros and cons of a certain wrestler, weaknesses. Yeah, that's dope though. I never even thought about it like that for a recruiting purpose.
It's it totally changed it. I was just talking to somebody like an older guy recently about how he got recruited and how the coach had to basically go to see him and then sit in on practice, which is kind of illegal, but they found like a loophole. Sit in on a practice, watch him wrestle, and think, okay, this guy's good. Now there's no need for that. I got all your film. I got all your last 30 matches, your last 3 years of film. I don't need to see anything.
Huh. So, I've seen some pictures. You're at ASU doing what now?
So I'm a regional training. So the way wrestling works, right? A lot of schools have regional training centers now. So it used to be that you had to live at the OTC, train for the Olympics, right, for wrestling. Now they do 5 to 7 camps a year where national team and good wrestlers go to train at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. And you train kind of now at your local regional training center or wherever you train out of with your partners and get better there through the college. So the club kind of funds that. So at ASU, we have the Sunkist Kids Wrestling Club.
Right.
Which I'm a part of, fortunate to be a part of. And I train out of there. I help with the college guys. The college guys, obviously, a kid like Colton Schultz helps me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tanner Hall, Garrett Ryan, other guys in the club help me. And then in exchange, Sunkist kind of, funds me and helps me out financially to be able to chase my dream.
That's awesome. So give me the rigors of going through getting on the Olympic team. How does one go about that fucking gauntlet?
Yeah, so...
Because that's got to be
it's
a
tough.
nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare and it's no easy task. So you'll have the guys that are so you have the Olympic trials. Right now, Nick Wiz is on the world team this year. If he medals,
okay,
he will be.
I'm trying to think of who that was.
He wrestled at NC State, so at
Okay.
the same time I did.
Okay.
So he won it, 3-time finalist, 2-time champ.
All right.
So if he medals this year, he'll be an automatic in the
Qualifier.
finals, automatic in the final X of the Olympic trials,
Okay.
which is like the finals, the best 2 out of 3. He sits there, which he did this year because he medaled the previous year. So if you
Gotcha.
medal, you sit in the finals, and you wait for everybody to go through the gauntlet.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's the easy part. So if you're in that position, you're in that position.
You're
in
golden.
you're in the easy
Everyone
part.
else is going to be worn down by the time they get
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
So a guy like me or anybody else who doesn't medal, you have to qualify for the Olympic trials, which there's a tournament in November. NYC, you're the highest placing American, you qualify for the Olympic trials.
NYC, New York
And
City?
NYC, New York Athletic Club, it is in New York City, yeah.
Okay.
And then, so the top placing American there qualifies for Olympic trials. I believe in December, the U.S. Open, top 5, I'd have to double check, but I believe top 5 qualify for the Olympic trials.
What is it? He can pull it up. Tell him what to type in. Pull it up right here.
You'd have to type in USA Wrestling Olympic qualifiers.
Okay. So,
But yeah, I believe it's top 5.
Top 5.
And then there's a couple other tournaments that will qualify you, and then the Olympic trials itself will be in April,
okay.
which is, again, that's seeding. You wrestle out the mini tournament, then you'll have the tournament, the finals of that tournament, and the winner of that will wrestle potentially, God willing, I hope he does well. Gwiz, because if he does well, USA does well.
Yeah.
Gwiz in the finals of that and Final X. And if you beat him 2 out of 3, then you qualify for the Olympic team.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah.
Dude.
So I'm very fortunate that a club like Sunkist sponsors me because I got to get sent to all these tournaments and I need funding for training and all that good stuff.
So are you big on Team USA? Like, I mean, I know your family were immigrants, but like, do you keep track of other countries and?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
all
I follow all international wrestling. I mean, I don't. I was just talking about this with somebody the other day. They were like, "Oh, what's your college football? What do you think about Antonio Brown and the
Brown.
NFL and this
Brown's
and that
garbage.
and all this?" Did he just? I was camping. I'm sorry. He just got signed by the Pats today.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, he got released because he's an ass. And
Yeah.
I think it was set up. I really do, personally. I think.
How
it
about
was
the
set up.
Patriots getting him for like nothing?
15 mil for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's more than nothing in my
But
opinion.
I'm saying as far as like the
Oh,
Raiders
yeah.
had to give up 2 picks. Correct me if I'm
Oh,
wrong. Right?
yeah, and they got him for nothing. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
And that, I mean, picks I think are bigger than money almost. You know what I mean? The money's got to get spent anyway.
If you're in a rebuilding phase, fuck yeah, they are.
Huge potential for sure.
Yeah,
Right,
huge potential
right.
for sure.
So where I was going with that is like I don't really watch NFL. I don't
No.
really watch college football.
College football is all I watch.
Yeah, I mean, I wish. All I watch is. I mean, nowadays.
I brush on collegiate wrestling.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, nowadays all I watch is international wrestling and collegiate wrestling
Yeah.
because obviously I'm in that world. I have to be part of it and MMA and I mean honestly that's where it ends
Really.
for me. Yeah, personally.
So pound for pound, who's the greatest wrestler right now?
Pound for pound, who's the greatest wrestler of all time?
Pound for-
Right now on the team.
Not all time.
On the team?
No, just in the world.
Oh, all time in the world?
Not all time. Right now.
Right
pound
now.
for pound. Right now. Who's
Right
the best
now.
wrestler?
Man, tough one. It would be between a lot of people. I think Jaden Cox.
Jaden Cox?
Yeah. I mean, he's beat.
You wouldn't say Burroughs?
I mean,
Jordan Burroughs.
Burroughs obviously is a killer.
Yeah.
He's older in his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's
a lot
another
of-
thing too. I don't know what that guy's
Exactly.
gonna do when he's done.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure he's got a good head on his shoulders. I'm sure he's got some stuff planned out. But
Right.
I'm just saying right now, I think Jaden is he's beat Kyle. I mean, he's beaten the who's who. He's beaten Kyle Dake. He's beaten David Taylor.
Kyle Dake's my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, I mean-
so I'm glad you brought him.
Yeah,
up.
I mean,
yeah,
they're all really good.
killers.
I just think that next year is the Olympic year. I don't know if you are aware. There are
Oh, I'm excited for that. Yeah.
way less weight classes. There's about half the weight classes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just because why?
The Olympic year, man, I couldn't really.
Internationally, wrestling's huge.
Yeah,
I just don't understand why they would cut the weight classes if the Olympics is international. Like that makes zero sense to me.
So part of it's women's sports, I believe. Like they have to have an equal amount of weight classes, right? So and there's not as many women to.
But they have Olympic trampoline jumping, bro.
Listen, man. I don't make the
No, I
rules. If I was on
know,
the
I know.
committee, it would be different, obviously. But there's
And maybe that's what they need to do. Have prior wrestlers run that shit.
2020. I mean, Kyle and Burroughs are going to be the same weight class.
Oh, that's
Then you got Jaden.
it's going to be a double leg
David
versus ankle
Taylor
leg all day, dude.
I mean, tons of people. Bo Nickel, all these guys. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming Bo Nick goes down, but all these guys in the same weight class. You know what I mean?
That's still bananas, yeah.
Snyder at 97.
And Snyder's a fucking killer, too.
Yeah, Snyder's at 90. He's a killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People don't understand.
I trained with him at Ohio State.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's.
What did he weigh at Ohio State, do you know?
When he wrestled heavyweight, when he was heavyweight?
Yeah.
I'm sure not more than 225.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, kid's a hoss.
Yeah, he's.
I shouldn't say kid. He's probably like 23 now, right?
Yeah, he's a workhorse.
Yeah, he's an adult, but
he's a go guy. He's all time. Yeah.
So, don't make the Olympic team. Mm-hmm. What do you do after that plan?
Knock on wood for me?
Yes, sir. I got
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
When you make the Olympic, no.
Exactly.
No, so if you don't, what happens though?
Not sure. I'd go back, take some time off, reevaluate. I think that's important. You know what I mean? Reflect, talk to some people that I trust, into seeing what my next move is.
Did you say your degree is in physics?
Physiology.
Physiology.
Yeah, so I have an undergrad degree in Science, Technology, and Society.
Oh,
so
okay.
I basically used that to take all my my credits for like med school.
Right.
And then realized I quickly didn't want to do that because I was like,
No thanks.
no
yeah.
thanks. That's a lot of school.
Would you
and-
want to teach?
So I wanted to either do chiropractor, PA, or PT school. I'm
Okay.
also very, I don't really know what I really want. You know what I mean? Not exactly. I mean, those are my three options, but the way
But that's
healthcare
like
is, like, I'm not
wrestlers,
really,
man. Like that's
you know
what's
what I mean?
crazy to me is like I'm listening to you, and I'm not trying to like grill you, but it's like fuck, dude. Like I worry for people who are so in love with wrestling because it's the transition.
Yeah, it's tough because there's not. So the NFL obviously, and same thing. I mean, it happens to guys in the NFL, right?
Yeah,
they play
yeah,
a couple years in the league. They spend money.
Not
Like
even
they got
just,
it.
not even sometimes after college.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They think they're going to make it, they don't. Or they do, practice squad a couple of times, a couple of years in the league, making decent money. You make a $250,000 practice squad. And then what happens after that? I mean, you went to school, the NCAA, I guess, you got your degree paid for, but probably couldn't do the degree you wanted, right?
Right.
Took a lot of bullshit classes.
Basket
It's
weaving.
Fucking
Yeah.
strenuous schedule. Probably couldn't keep the grades up to get a good enough degree. You know what I mean? Because you got to be at weights at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You also going to sleep at 11,
or
12.
you were just passed because you were a football player. Let's
Yeah.
be real.
Yeah.
It happens.
A lot of them.
Alabama.
A lot of them.
Pay to play from what I hear from some
Yeah.
of those players, but ESPN loves them, so they won't be investigated. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, so with Sunkiss Wrestling, you're at the level of teaching college kids,
Yes.
helping teach college kids.
Yes.
Have you thought about, because out here, I'm trying to think, in Arizona, they have like a kids wrestling team. I forget what the name of it is.
So Sunkist itself has a kids club.
I know Sunkiss is one.
I believe Angel Cejudo, Henry's brother,
Yeah,
has a kids club. I think it's like Fight Ready's kids club.
Fight Ready. Yeah,
I
we're actually
believe
having
so.
one of their MMA fighters come on.
Yeah, I'm not positive on the kids club team. I just
Yeah.
know it's pretty saturated here.
Oh, really?
But they're not, in my opinion. I really don't know. I think they're all really saturated and they're all kind of territorial, and none of them have a lot of kids. They all have some kids, and they you know what I mean? They're kind of like segregated.
So why not try to be say a D2? Let's say D2 or or NICA or NCIA, whatever.
NAIA.
NAIA. Thank you. Try to become a wrestling coach and use your degree and teach, and then that way you're still involved in
So
wrestling.
coaching is definitely on the table. It's definitely
Yeah.
an option. I have a lot of good friends in coaching that have already started, and a lot of people that coached me that I'd be interested in definitely working with. But the problem with that is, so coaching is like anything. You start back from the bottom, right? So you're former military. You know how that works. You
Yeah.
go right to the bottom. You work your way up. So I might have to take a job in. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody who listens in a bullshit state. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of them out there.
You came on the worst show to offend anyone.
Yeah.
Because we.
So
we
there's a
offend
lot of
somebody
states
every
that
time.
I probably wouldn't want to live in. A lot of cities. A lot of wrestling schools. live in, pretty shit cities.
Shit cities.
I mean, aside from, a couple I can name and a couple that I've been at. You know what I mean? But that's by design.
I'm telling you, dude, it's always like the fucking Midwest wrestlers that are always just like straight animals. You got Iowa.
What's there else to do there?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah. Well,
you want to
play basketball.
You want to plow snow, or you want to fucking go wrestle?
Or you can play basketball. Yeah. That's about it. Yeah. My brother, who wrestled here in Arizona, he always used, his coach would always tell us that is basketball is what women do during wrestling season. So
exactly. I mean, they say there's like a Midwest term. They used to always say like the sun makes you soft. The sun doesn't put out good wrestlers, so guys from like California and Florida and places where the sun shines a lot aren't fucking good. Well, that's why I used to get that a lot.
They say the fucking cold hardens mother people.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I mean, he might be onto something. I don't know.
I mean, look at the Scandinavian motherfuckers. Look at all those big fucking assholes up in Iceland. Like Thor Bjornsson.
Yeah, I was about to say Thor. He is freaking. Again, monsters exist. Yeah. That guy's a monster.
So my buddy who wrestled is Garcia. We're just using last name because he hates his first name. But the largest Mexican I've ever met.
Right.
He's 6'4", he's 340, big dude, right? When I say he moves like a 185 pounder, like he knows, like he moves like you could not believe, and he wrestled. And what's funny to me is like, you look at guys like that, and it's like, okay, he's born and raised California, Arizona, and he said the guys he struggled with were Midwest wrestlers.
Yeah, there's conflicting styles, right? Midwest guys traditionally heavy hand fight, hard on the head, right?
Yeah.
Have great gas tanks, and I mean, if you look at Iowa and all that stuff, traditionally not as much technique, more grit, right?
Yeah.
And then you got like the California guys or the New Jersey guys, more slick, right? I guess.
And John Jones was New Jersey, wasn't he?
New York, upstate New York.
Okay.
Yeah, John Jones.
New Jersey, New York, all the same.
I mean,
to me.
tri-state area is all really.
So what do you think about? So you obviously follow wrestling, like you said, different areas, different things. How do you feel about Arizona State right now with their recruiting?
They're doing. Recruiting's booming.
Phenomenal, right?
Right.
And the reason for that, I think, is what's the coach's name?
Zeke Jones.
Yeah, Zeke. So he allows wrestlers under scholarship to be able to pursue like world events, correct?
Right.
And that's why a lot of wrestlers are coming to Arizona State right now.
So a guy like Colton Schultz of Colton Schultz's caliber.
Okay.
I mean, he's a great Greco guy. He just wrestled. The Final X, right? The stuff I was just talking about. He's second on the national team at 18 years old, right? So a guy like that, he should be pursuing national or international competition.
Right.
Has to be. You know what I mean? I mean, him only wrestling NCAAs and only wrestling folk style would actually be a setback for him because of how good he is in Greco-Roman wrestling.
Right. What do you prefer personally?
Personally, freestyle wrestling.
Freestyle is amazing. That's all. I did only 2 years of wrestling, and both of them were freestyle.
Yeah, I was decent in folk style. I was at one point. I thought I was good on top and bottom. Something happened, and I just think freestyle is way more interesting.
Ask the wife. I'm good at both. No, I'm an idiot, dude. No. So for those that don't know the difference, folk style, freestyle, Greco-Roman.
Right.
Explain to them.
Okay, so folk style is the American style. Only wrestled in America. It has what you would call a top, bottom, or neutral. Right, neutral being the feet, top being the top parterre position, bottom being the bottom position. It's what you see in all Americanized,
wrestling
movies. Right. It's what you see on ESPN outside of Olympic gear.
Okay.
Right. I don't really know how to explain. It's scored differently than freestyle. Greco-Roman's easy to explain. It's throws only, no lower body, can't touch the legs. Right.
So you can't even shoot.
No, there's no. I mean, you could shoot to a body lock, but you can't touch the legs whatsoever.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you get a leg foul point against you. So that is easy to distinguish. Now
and why is Greco-Roman considered the hardest? Is it because you can't attack the legs?
I wouldn't say it's the hardest, or I just think it's just a different style.
That's original Roman style wrestling?
That is the original Roman style wrestling, I believe.
Yeah. It's what led to boxing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
don't attack the legs. Let's just, fuck it, throw punches. So freestyle.
So freestyle and folk style is where people get kind of confused. The scoring's a little different. You can't. So in folk style, you'll see a lot of scrambles, right? Dirty scrambles, all this stuff, leg passes. That's not really allowed in freestyle because you can't expose your back. Once your back is exposed to the mat, you're giving up points. Also, there's out of bounds points in freestyle, and big moves get more rewarded in freestyle.
And you can throw a motherfucker in freestyle
as hard as you can.
Yes, that's why I loved freestyle.
As hard as you can.
Yeah,
there's slamming and no slamming.
If you're not ready, and like WWE, German suplex can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't realize
if you allow it to happen, it will happen.
And as well as it should, because you're an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, it's protect yourself at all times. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's the truth. So, moving forward with this whole situation, you make the Olympic team. What's the goal? What's obviously medal, right?
To win it all. I mean, that's if you're going to go as far as to make the team, your fucking goal better be to win it all. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
You beat out people that want to win it all.
There's you as a heavyweight, and you said there's less weight this time, right?
So Olympic
Across
years,
the board.
there's so heavyweight's always the same.
Okay.
There's always a 125 kilogram weight class.
Okay.
Weights like,
And see, this is where I think Americans get lost with wrestling. They're like,
kilograms, yeah.
Math?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Just multiply by 2.2 people. Let's get it going.
We can't do that. So
Have you seen fucking Super Troopers 2?
No, I have seen it. I don't remember.
There's this part where he's like, they're talking about Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
And he goes, what other 143 centimeter actor is there? Like, and they're Canadian, and it just cracks me up because, like,
dude, the rest
because nobody probably understood that joke here in America, but Canadians were like, oh, you know, like, yeah, that shit's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So it's just crazy that it's like America just wants to be different. Same thing with folk style wrestling. I've been saying for a long time that we should just wrestle freestyle in college.
Oh,
I think the foreigners have an advantage. I mean, and this is argued, I mean, crazy argued.
Tell it.
But, like, so guys like Ben Askren will say that folk style helps freestyle, right? That folk style is very beneficial to freestyle. I would argue how. Because in freestyle, you have to hold position, and you cannot expose your back. In folk style, you can. In my opinion, they're two totally different sports. Yeah. The only thing folk style is more grueling. It's more of a grind. So you build up a better gas tank.
Right.
I believe. I mean, you don't have to be in as good a shape to do freestyle.
Okay.
There's a lot of breaks. I mean, you get 3-minute period, which is grueling. It is kind of long, but you get that 30-second break hitter where you could take a sip of water. That guy, if you got a good towel guy, he's going to towel you off pretty good, give you a nice fan, and you get back out there and you feel refreshed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
do they allow ice?
Different. Ice
on the neck?
No, they do allow it, but I mean, you don't really have time. By the time you walk over, you're at 24 seconds.
Yeah.
You're getting short instructions from your coach. Maybe something's open, maybe something's not.
Yeah.
Maybe watch out for this, and then you get a sip of water, fanned. Then they gotta wipe you down, and you're back out.
Yeah. So who do you think is? Because there's so many fucking coaches, dude.
Tons.
Who do you think is the best coach right now here in America?
And it depends. You're asking like folk style wrestling, freestyle wrestling.
Folk, because it's NCAA.
Man, folk style wrestling. I mean, if you got it, I mean, I don't know. I've only experienced the coaches that I've experienced, right?
Right.
But if you look,
wins and losses obviously mean
so right. If that's the case, right? If you're looking at pure statistics, Cale Sanderson, right? I mean, Cale Sanderson's crushing it.
He's at Penn State.
Yeah. Penn State's been crushing it. They got a dynasty. Yeah. So for me to say anybody else, I mean, I would have a lot of people going,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, what'd you say?
That's the truth.
So, but by statistics, I mean, Cale's done something different at Penn State. You know?
Well, he also was a fucking killer himself.
Yeah, he's a killer. So.
Wasn't Cale Sanderson like undefeated?
Undefeated. I mean, he had losses his redshirt year, but undefeated throughout college, never lost.
And he went gold medal, wasn't he?
And he won a gold medal in the Olympics in 2004, I believe.
Yeah. Who's the fucking Russian they got right now that was like...
Sadulayev.
Yeah. Heavyweight, right?
97 kilogram.
97?
Yeah, him and Kyle go back and forth. The first time him and Kyle wrestled in, I want to say Budapest?
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago, I believe it was Budapest.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Your guess is better than mine.
Yeah, I'm losing track here. But they were in Budapest, Kyle beat him,
I almost said here's CTE kicking in, but that's a bad joke.
Dude, I joke about, so that's like just quick. I joke about it every time I forget something. I go, "Oh man, CTE."
Yeah, right.
And it's just like a reaction. It's just a joke.
Yeah.
And the other day I said it, and he goes, "Man," he goes,
You gotta calm
guy
down.
goes, "Oh man, you got CTE. I'm so sorry." And I go, "Oh fuck."
Yeah,
Now I gotta explain how this is a joke, but this not funny, and now it's lost.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm with you. It's hilarious. It's like
I think it's hilarious, but
I had traumatic brain injury.
okay.
In Afghanistan. So
Jeez.
CTE to me is like I'm all for it. So it's like I get it. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Like I can blame it on my fucking CTE sometimes. You know.
I'm not even diagnosed, but you know what? I blame it on my CTE.
Exactly.
Especially when I'm not listening. I'm like, oh man, CTE. I wish I remembered.
Were you
that.
listening to me? I asked you to take out the trash, babe. I don't know who you are. Like,
Where am I right now?
yeah, okay, Grandma. But she's like, what? Yeah, no.
Oh,
Fucked up. No,
all right.
I'm fucked up.
So, him and Kyle go back and forth, right? So, Kyle won their first meeting in the finals, right?
Right.
Kyle won. Kyle tired him out, won. The second meeting, which was last year can't remember where it was off the top of my head, but they met again, and Sadulayev pinned Kyle, right? It was a big move, first period, just happened, very tricky. Put him on his back, stuck him.
Which is insane if you've ever seen Kyle Dake wrestle.
Kyle Snyder.
Oh, Snyder.
Yes, Kyle Snyder.
97.
97
Sorry.
kilos, yeah. So, it's tough to keep up. The Russians, they got a lot of good guys.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So, so then, I mean, presumably, I hope it happens. Everybody wants to see it. I hope a third meeting happens with him and Kyle.
Oh, it needs to.
Needs to.
Yeah.
They need to close the book on it.
Yeah, yeah. So, how's the Olympic team shaping up from your knowledge? Who's already set on the Olympic team and who's not? Is there any?
Nobody's set on the Olympic team.
Nobody's set.
Not one person is set on the Olympic team.
Huh. Are there other countries that already have an Olympic team? Kind of, they know who their guys are.
Dude, so I've had this talk with a lot of coaches.
I feel like other
right?
countries are more prepared.
Not more prepared, right?
Okay.
So a lot of other countries, I would say. So in my opinion, if you make it out of the gauntlet that is America, you should medal. You need to medal because the competition here. I mean, there's plenty of guys that can medal.
I feel like there's more wrestlers here, but there's more quality in other countries. I don't want to take a shot at America, but that's. I feel like
tough to say.
Yeah,
I would say if you make it out,
or we're oversaturated and our top guys aren't meeting each other. Is that fair to say?
Some of the top guys, I would say.
Okay.
But I would say that other countries like smaller Eastern European, aside from Russia, right? If you make it out of Russia, the Russian nationals and all that stuff, and they choose. I mean, they kind of choose their guys,
and inject.
Yeah. But if that's the case, like you make it out of Russia, they expect you to medal, right?
Yeah.
You make it out of most European countries, Eastern European countries, they expect you to medal. Smaller countries, let's say like Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan, I feel as though there is not as many. What?
I've been to Kazakhstan.
I haven't been to Kazakhstan
I
yet.
Flew in there. We were there for like 4 days and flew out. So.
Was it nice? You didn't like it? It was nice. That's where it is. Where it is this year.
The weather's great.
Really?
Yeah.
So, when'd you go? What time of the year?
Right before summer hit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So spring.
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Arizona, stationed in Texas.
Okay, where in Texas?
Fort Hood, which is like centralized. It's like an hour and a half, hour 15 minutes from Austin, 2 hours from Dallas.
All military bases, right? They're like an hour outside of where exactly you want to be, right?
Yeah. You know where it's not out of is STD Central. No. If you don't want to go to military base.
Plus right outside.
Yeah, right outside the gates.
Right outside every gate.
Every gate.
Yeah. Used car dealership.
Oh, barbershops too. Yeah.
And payday loans.
Payday loans.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that's how they get us. Yeah. So go ahead, continue though. So preparation. You feel that other countries. I felt other countries more prepared. You were.
I wouldn't say more prepared. I would say those other countries have less people. Like for example, like I guess Ukraine, right?
Right.
Ukraine or Kazakhstan. How many big 125 kilogram guys that are skilled do they have? Not as many, right? Because they're a smaller country, less resources, and most of those countries have fallen off because of that.
Yeah.
So that's also why I say that if you make it out of America, you should medal.
Ah.
Because we have all the resources.
I don't disagree with that.
And Russia. Russia, I mean, and again, if you make it out of Russia, you should medal. And there's a lot of, it's like right now, the Japanese women are crushing us. They're crushing women's wrestling.
Oh, I bet.
They're
How many women's wrestling clubs do you know about here in America?
I can tell specific women's wrestling clubs. I can tell you one.
Yeah, that's my point.
Women's exclusive wrestling clubs. I couldn't tell you.
Well, we'll talk about that off air. I got something for you. I don't want to give out a secret, but I got an idea, and I think everyone knows what it is. But we might have found your calling after you're done with wrestling, because that could work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, think about it.
It could work, but again, so the Japanese, so in other countries, so the sport of wrestling in general, or in general any Olympic sport, Olympic athletes I think are better taken care of.
Yeah.
So if you medal in Russia, right, you win a gold medal in Russia, you have a stipend the rest of your life. You're set up the rest of your life because you gave up those years, right, to compete for your country.
That's how Russia does it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah, same thing with Ukraine, right? You medal, you get taken care of, right? They get you a
Wow.
car, they get you a house.
They care about the Olympics that much?
Fuck yeah, they do.
And America doesn't do that.
Well, America has different. They got
Wheaties.
different rewards, right? They
got Wheaties.
You get a
We got
reward
Wheaties.
if you get a one-time. So Olympic, I believe, and again, it's basically all charity money.
Yeah.
Right, because it's the gold medal fund. Olympic gold, I think, is $250,000, but that's 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
And then it's one time.
Yeah, so 250 divided by 4.
Right.
You're not
No.
making shit.
I'm not a mathematician or anything, but that's not.
No,
that's
you're not
great.
making shit.
That's not great.
Damn.
And then on the world year, I don't know what they made. I think it's 50. 50 for a gold on a world year.
Yeah, that's still.
I believe. I mean, I've yet to do that, but I believe that's what it
makes
is.
sense. All right, so I'm a parent of a 6-year-old daughter. Okay.
Congrats.
Well, thank you. That's not where I was going with it, but I appreciate it.
Good luck.
I want you to tell parents that are listening to my show, because there's a lot of them, right?
Okay.
I want you to tell parents from your heart of hearts, and I know, and I could tell from just this conversation sit with you, you're a genuine man.
Thank
Okay?
you. I appreciate that.
From your heart of hearts, explain to parents why wrestling is so important to our youth.
Oh man, there's a lot of reasons, man, but I think most of all it teaches values that no other sport can. Right? I think. I mean, I feel like an old head saying this, but
No. This is why I asked you.
Right,
it's not
right,
about you've been through the gauntlet of beginning to end.
So in life, I think wrestling as a sport is most synonymous with life, how life works, right? Sometimes you could do everything right, and you could do everything in your power to have a certain result, and fuck you might not get it, right? Same thing, same way life works. Okay, I can do everything in my power to expect this one result, and hey, something happens. Knock on wood. Something out of your control happens. And, nowadays it's easy to say that, oh, you know what, this happened to me. I got a bad deck of cards. This is the way it's going to be. Well, wrestling teaches you that you're in control, right? Things are going to get thrown at you that may be out of your control, but then how you react is your choice, right? And what do you do from here? How do you move forward, right? For example, you train hard for a big match or a big tournament, right? Like, let's say, the Olympics, right? We're talking about that.
Okay.
If that doesn't happen, I mean, some people will be crushed, right? Some people go down a downward spiral, maybe pick up a couple vices, right? And
How do you rebound?
yeah, exactly. How do you rebound from that? And you're going to have to. And same thing, I mean, sports in general, right? You lose a basketball game, you got to rebound, you got a new basketball game next week, right? Ideally. Same thing with wrestling, but I think there's nobody else to blame. In basketball, you could say, hey, man, that point guard played shit that game. In football, hey, our running back, our quarterback.
That lineman missed a block.
Yeah, that lineman did not want to do his job. In wrestling, you just got to look yourself in the mirror. And that's a lot of what life is, right? A lot of what life is looking yourself in the mirror and saying, hey, maybe it was in my control, but maybe it wasn't. Doesn't matter, right? If it wasn't, hey, how do I react? How do I make this better? How do I make chicken salad out of chicken shit? Okay? Or maybe it wasn't your control and you got to be able to look in the mirror because there's nobody else to blame. Hey, I wasn't doing the right things, and then I got what I deserved.
Yeah.
So I think, so to sum that up, I think wrestling is most like life in general, to teach you lessons. And you can't quit, right? In wrestling, you can't quit. You're going to get hurt if you quit. Like, as far as, like, in the middle of a wrestling match, like, in the middle of a basketball game, you could quit and you're just going to lose a game, right?
Yeah.
In the middle of a wrestling match, you're going to quit, that guy or girl is going to rip your arm off. They're going to try to break your neck. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get physically hurt. Same thing in life, man. You quit in life, there's consequences. There's a downward path that you're going to go through, and it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Or you could push through to the other side and see some light. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that. So collectively, throughout my years, it's been a total of about 8.5 years of jiu-jitsu. I did wrestling for 2 years, freestyle. What I learned about the two, and like you said, there's people out there that are going to listen to this that have done both.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, this fucking guy doesn't know what he's going to talk about, or doesn't know what he's talking about. But I will say this, and I think wrestling teaches character. Jiu-jitsu teaches brotherhood. Like, you look at people that go to jiu-jitsu class every day and they roll with each other, and you look at wrestlers. There's a bond with wrestling, but there's so much more connection with jiu-jitsu. It's weird. You become brothers when you roll, like in jiu-jitsu. Wrestling, there's an understanding. There's a love for the sport, and you all there for the love of the sport. But you're not there because you're happy with each other.
Right.
You're there because you're there for the sport. Does that make sense?
No, I agree with you. I mean, been on wrestling teams where it was a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Where it was like that. But I think at this level, when you get to a senior level, it's less about the brotherhood and more about your individual career. But a high school team was like a brotherhood, right? We did everything together. I always hung out with my teammates. My college team was, I would say, I've been and seen a couple programs. One of the most, the closest teams, right? We did everything. I mean, as far as like whatever was in the room stayed in the room. We could have fist fought in the room. I mean, that happened daily. When we left the room and it left the room, that was it. I mean, we were friends again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was it. We were gonna, hey, what are we doing for dinner? That's what it was. As far as I've done some jiu-jitsu rolling, I think there's just a lot of mutual respect, right? As far as like, hey, we have an understanding that we're about to go hard, and somebody could get hurt. We're choking each other out. I mean, this is to take a life. You know what I mean? This is like, that's what that's for, right?
It really is.
Exactly that's for. I mean, whether you're doing it as a sporty thing, as far as like, getting in shape or whatever, or somebody can get really physically hurt.
Oh, for real.
Same thing in wrestling. It's like a respect. That's why they're so comparable. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Hey, we're in agreement that I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to put you down as hard as I can because that's what the sport calls for. But at the end of this, hey, we're going to shake hands. Let's go grab lunch. Let's go grab a beer, whatever.
Now I'm going to take a shot at the jiu-jitsu world. You ready?
Yeah, they're too nice.
Majority of champions across the board are wrestlers.
100%.
Not just in the UFC, but Bellator.
Just more competitive, right?
Strikeforce, yeah.
So
like they really are, though.
What I noticed
like in MMA, most of the champions are
8 out of 9. Is that what I don't know.
For UFC, I believe
8 out of 9. I believe Max Holloway is the only one that's not. I mean, I could be wrong, but I believe that's right.
I mean, you look at Bellator too. Ryan Bader last night.
Did he crush it? Man, I've been camping.
So, Chet Congo said he got poked in the eye.
This is controversy shit, man.
So check this out. They replayed it. The thumb was in the nose. He claimed eye, and he was getting the fucking shit worked out of him.
Dude, Ryan Bader's in his prime.
Dude.
I don't know. So I've only spoke with Ryan. I do want to roll.
We're trying to get him on. We're We're working Roman to get him on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was supposed to start rolling with him and do all this stuff, but then I got knee surgery, so I was out for a little bit. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But he's a really good guy.
Yeah,
to just
Yeah, well, there you go. You want to train for the Olympics? That motherfucker puts you through a ring.
Yeah, I think he's in his prime. As far as I don't know him personally, but as far as just watching him, I'd love to see him face a UFC champ. I don't think there'll ever be a crossover.
No, there should be though.
There should be.
100%.
There won't be, but I would love to see him in a crossover.
Yeah, I think he beats. Mirko.
Stipe?
Stipe.
Miocic, yeah.
I couldn't say his last name.
I couldn't say it for a while. You don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at pronouncing shit. It's incredible.
Definitely. Well, Mike Koysoy with Sunkiss Wrestling. Do you want to give any thanks to anybody while you're on?
Yeah. So shout out to Aligned Life Medical. They sponsor me, keep me healthy.
Okay.
With the PRP and stem cells I need, and chiropractic needs. Sunkiss Kids Wrestling Club sponsor me, make my Olympic dreams possible. Floatology down in Tempe, float tank, sensory deprivation.
We just did that. Me and my producer.
You got to do it. You got to.
Where's it at?
It's in Tempe. It's right next to ASU.
By the Improv.
Yes.
I saw it.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me know. We'll exchange information after this. I know the guy that runs the place.
We'll talk about our experience off air.
Yeah, he's a good dude, and that's if you want to get your mind right, get in a float tank. Man, I feel like I'm forgetting another person I got to thank, but obviously my coaches and stuff like that. But man, forgive me.
What's your IG?
Kosoy 125 kg, so KOSOY 125 kg.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, dude, it's been a fucking pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for
having me.
having
Hang out for
me.
a few minutes after.
Absolutely.
And real quick, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I don't
Rob.
mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But before we go off air, I think it's important to say, you mentioned stem cells.
Yeah.
So you've been through that process.
Firsthand. So I've gotten PRP injections. I haven't gotten stem cells injections yet because I haven't really needed it. My future obviously entails, I would say obviously, because I think that's the future, entails stem cells. I've known multiple people, including the guy that I go to. He needed knee reconstruction, popped some stem cells in his knee, did the protocol, all that shit grew back.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Also, Green Road CBD. I just seen the tincture on his desk.
There you go.
Green Road CBD.
Yeah, we actually have our vape is filled with CBD. So,
Yeah.
So. Is that the CBD company you use?
Yeah, that's the CBD company I use, and that they take care of me. So.
Interested. I wouldn't mind trying some because I'm a fan of CBD, but I feel like certain companies are better than others.
Yeah, man. I couldn't. I'm not a connoisseur by any means. I just know this came highly recommended to me. I heard there's a lot of some people use a lot of shit in theirs.
Yep.
And so
third-party testing is
key.
So it's key.
So Green Roads does have third-party testing and all that good stuff. I don't know about many other products. But.
Well, shout out to any CBD company that wants to partner or sponsorship with Whiskey Tango. Hit us up.
Yeah, get at them.
Yeah. So, all right, Mike. Well, good to have you.
Thank you for having me,
Rob. That wraps it up for Whiskey Tango Talks. If you can, like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Whiskey Tango Talks. This has been a great fucking conversation. I'm glad I had a NCAA Division I wrestler on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man.
All right, that's it.
Later.